Good job by J.J. McCarthy.
Take the handoff. And Calicanis is going to throw a pick.
They give it to Cora. Up back. Cora. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Ruben Wilson does it again. Cora finds some daylight. He got some speed and some blocker.
Outside. Turns the corner. Blake Cora down the sideline.
Looking over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, Wolverine.
McCarthy extends the play. Now he uses legs. McCarthy a first down.
We're here.
Oh my goodness. It's working? It's actually working?
We're actually here.
All
We're doing
right.
the thing. The Senior Bowl is going. Right now it's the National and the Americans that are playing. And it's still 0-0 is what I meant to say for that. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. This has been an experience. It's like you get everything set up and you think this is going to work, and then no, nothing works. And so we had to completely redo our set. I'm using the term set loosely.
We have sound too. It's confirmed. It is working.
But here we are. And as soon as I can figure out if they're doing any kind of a stat page, I will put that up. Meanwhile, Mac is going to share some stuff with you. Mac, go for it.
Hi. We are here. We are live. We're watching the Senior Bowl. I don't know who just got the handoff. But they ran the ball up the middle there and didn't get anywhere. It's second down. Who's got the ball? The national team or the American team? Do you want to? All right. Well, here's a question for you. Do you want to root for the nationalists or the American? It looks like the Americans have the ball. Somebody from South Carolina's in. Oh, we got to get our bearings here. All right. Yep. So if you're watching us, join us in the chat. We do have some stories that we're going to go over, but we're also keeping an eye on the Senior Bowl for you. And we're going to see what we got here. Some players making their, last pitches to NFL scouts. We got a screen pass to somebody from Missouri here. And he gets a first down for the Americans. Looks like it was, that was Schrader. Oh, is that Cody Schrader from Missouri, I think? He had a great bowl game against the Buckeyes. He absolutely torched the Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Nobody was torching anybody that game. Both offenses actually kind of sucked there for a little bit. But, yep, all right, so that's Cody Schrader, 79 first downs or touchdowns in 2023. Holy crap. Very, very good. We have a very large Dollar General logo at the 25-yard line. So you can bet this was hosted by Mobile, Alabama, so no offense. Quarterback is taking a deep shot to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Who else but a Georgia Bulldog? And he's doing a weird milk the cow type dance. Who is that? Rosamie Jackson, I think? I don't know his name. I don't know who that is. But that was a great throw from the quarterback there to the wide receiver. So if anybody knows who that guy is, we would appreciate some help with names here.
We're having all kinds of fun right now.
The defensive back looked back at the ball way too early too. What is he doing? What is this dance? This milk the cow
cool.
dance.
Oh, no.
All right.
This is crazy.
Solid start.
Oh, you've got it. Never mind.
I've got him. You can have him because you're gonna need to host this. Goodness gracious. Somebody commented on one of our videos a while back and said that we are a glorious mess and he loved it. I hope he watches this because that's going to be very good for him.
This is the message. Oh, a field goal. Straight up the middle.
No, that was the point after.
Point after. Straight up the middle. This
all
what
right.
happens when you look away for a second.
And the coach of the Americans was very happy about that. All right. We're on Team America here. Go America. So there you go. I guess.
I was really expecting the uniforms to be one to be orange and the other to be brown, but maybe they're too close together in color and they wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Oh, because Reese's
Reese's,
is Reese's. Yeah.
It's gotta be Reese's.
It's yeah.
Oh, and another thing, you may have noticed, we're in the same room.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Boom. All right. You might want to turn my mic down a little bit. I think it's
We just
probably.
smacked it.
Well, I'm yelling. I guess it's killing people's ears. A little bit more, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Back down. There we go.
Yeah, there we. Well, I'm still going into the
We're
first.
still spiking it, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking normal volume. I think we'll just have to keep an eye on that.
We'll just move that back a little bit.
All right. You misspelled the header. It's not spelled chatter. It's spelled cheaters. All right.
You're funny.
Love it.
Who cheated? I don't understand.
Are we still on that, I guess?
Are we still on? Yeah. Now that,
All
like,
right.
how many teams are being investigated now?
Yeah. Which
There's
is all
numbers.
crap.
Actually, I guess all I would say about that is if they can prove what Connor Stallions did actually impacted any game, then we can talk about it.
Then we can talk about it,
So far,
yeah.
it doesn't appear to have impacted anything.
Yeah. But also, John, thank you for your chat. Appreciate you watching. You've
Yeah.
commented on a few things. Don't always agree with it, but really appreciate the engagement. So thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, I guess we're still on that. So we're on commercial break
We're on
right now.
commercial
So
right now.
I don't know. How do we want to handle the topics? I know we had topics that we wanted to talk about.
Actually, I had a stat I wanted to go over.
You have a stat. He's got
Yeah.
a stat, guys.
So this is the first time any of these players have made an appearance in the Senior Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh. Guys, we're watching history here.
History is happening today.
History is happening today.
When you
Yeah.
think about it, history happens every day.
Well, it's a new day.
It is. Yeah.
It's a new day. Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint. That's a heck of a name right there.
Flournoy standing next to him.
Yeah. That was the guy who caught the touchdown, was Jack Saint. Not to be confused with Jack Sinner, I guess.
Could be John Sinner, Jack Saint, and John Sinner. It's probably
Probably.
more likely.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a dance going too.
Again,
They're all
we're-
working on their NFL end zone jigs.
Yeah, we're doing the milk the cow dance. I would recommend not doing that on
Yeah.
national TV.
Do
Just
you remember the Iggy Shuffle? The Iggy Shuffle?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Iggy was like one of the first ones to do like an end zone dance, and they called it the Iggy Shuffle.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Nice.
I'm probably getting the name wrong. I'm pretty sure it was the Iggy Shuffle.
We've got
Oh!
a flea flicker on the national team's first. Where's the ball? Oh, there it is. So the national team's first play on offense was a flea flicker to Walker, a wide receiver out of North Carolina, and he dropped it. Or was it anywhere near him? Oh no, that was a great throw, and he really should have had that. He got a hand on it, but didn't bring it down. So the national team proving that nationalism is never the answer, kids.
Never.
At least not with a flea flicker. So the quarterback rotation for the national team is Bo Nix from Oregon and Sam Hartman out of Notre Dame. Two quarterbacks that were so good, and their teams really didn't maximize their potential, in my humble opinion.
This is honestly what's always interesting about the Senior Bowl, the Pro Bowl, any of those where they mix up all these players. They all wear the same uniform but different helmets. And
Yeah.
the reason that stands out to me is because when Yost brought the winged helmet to Michigan, he did it to be able to easily identify his players downfield.
Yeah.
And so now you've got all of the helmets are mixed up, and it throws that philosophy right out the window because you can't even say, I mean, if you're the quarterback for Oregon, do you remember to look for the right helmet?
Or do you look for the orange jersey, I
You're looking for the
guess?
Jersey, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if that actually affects their vision downfield. Oh, that was a good throw right there. Who was that to the tight end out of Penn State? T. Johnson? I can't remember his name. Something Johnson.
Hold on. I've got a list.
It was a good catch. He was a little bit behind. Probably if he throws that, or if the tight end's able to catch that in stride, he might be going a few more
Theo.
yards, but not quite.
Theo Johnson.
Oh, Theo Johnson. Oh, he was really good too. I should have remembered that. He was pretty good.
One of the original reasons we wanted to do this video is because, or do the live stream for the Senior Bowl, is that there were going to be 8 Michigan players, and they are down to 2.
What? Everybody pull out?
They had, okay, hold on, let's see what this guy does. This is Taylor.
Yeah. So the national team is punting now, and we got a good punt. Oh, that's Troy Taylor from the Iowa Hawkeyes. He got quite a bit of experience punting this season.
Oh, that was a nice punt. Dropped dead on the 22.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Okay, so what happened is after the national championship, you had, I believe, Mike Sanders still, and I forget who the other one was that decided not to go. They took their invites back like right away. The other guy got injured, I believe. Since then, so we've got 2 guys in, so that leaves 4 more. 2 got injured. Roman Wilson
Oh, he got injured?
got injured in practice, in Senior Bowl practice.
Oh, crap. No.
And now I've forgotten who the other 3 guys are, but one of them pulled out. 2 of them pulled out, and another one got injured, which gets us down to just two Wolverines in here. But originally, looking at the roster here, there were originally 24 players from the Big Ten. And I'm not sure how many players from other Big Ten teams stepped out, but I know there's at least 6 missing. So there's 8. There's at least there's somewhere around no more than 18 Big Ten players out there.
8 or
18?
18.
No more than
Oh,
18.
okay, 18. Jeez. So I guess that kind of throws the theory out the window that you skip the bowl game to avoid getting injured, but you're going to go to the Senior Bowl and get injured.
Get injured, yeah.
So, and honestly, would have made sense for any player from like Michigan and Washington at least to skip the Senior Bowl because the national championship was their Senior Bowl.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I think like Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy didn't bother with the Senior Bowl because they already made their point at the national championship.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was reading up on the draft too because I've always wondered when they declare for the draft what happens, and apparently there is a system. You have to declare for the draft. You're not just automatically in it as a senior in college football.
Yeah.
You declare for the draft, and then the draft board has to go over. What, you're kicking us all over the place, man.
I am? Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez.
The draft board has to then go through the list, and there's upwards of, what did I see? Like there could be like 2,000 guys who are
Wow.
declaring for the draft. And you remember from our other video, only like, what is it, 200 to 300
Yeah.
maybe get selected.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about an awful lot of guys who aren't going to make it. They're not
Yeah.
even going to get picked up by the draft board. So the first couple of hundred get picked up by the draft board as ones that can be selected during the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are other guys who are either free agents or they can be walk-ons. Because you could, at any point, you can just go to an NFL team and try out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's what those guys do. So if you don't make it into the draft, or you make it into the draft but then don't get drafted, you can still go to any team that you want to play for and try out for them.
Huh. So can you just
But
be
yeah.
like some Joe on the street who's like, I want to try out for the Lions.
Oh yeah,
Maybe my dreams aren't dead.
it might not be. You can go and do that.
I can go and do
It
that.
doesn't mean you're gonna make it,
No.
but you can try.
And I probably won't.
You can go get yourself beat up for a day with.
All right, so the Americans just ran the ball to the left and didn't get anywhere. I think that was Cody Schrader again. John Berger says Mizzo has 6 in the game.
All right.
They Rakestraw is hurt. I think that was probably whoever that player is. They had 7 invites, though, so only one guy pulled out, but it sounds like he was hurt.
From Missouri.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah. Oh, here's player from Michigan. Who is that? The edge rusher. National team is
Oh, well,
throwing
yeah.
a screen here.
Yeah.
Good play, but we got a flag on the field. And it looks like, who is that from Florida State? Some guy from Florida State just picked up a first down for him.
So both Michigan guys are on defense. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are
I'm
they
looking at the
really?
wrong one. Looking at the wrong helmet. Boy, that was dumb. That's Missouri.
That's Missouri. Yeah. Okay, so that
two
was
both Missouri guys. That's what I meant to say. Both Missouri guys are on defense. Two of the Missouri guys are on defense.
Cody Schrader picked up that first down then from Missouri. So Cody Schrader already having the better game of any player at the Senior Bowl so far. But it's going to be nullified by an ineligible receiver downfield penalty, which still doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get that. Actually, I get that because
You get that?
that's not fair to the defense. Like, all of a sudden your lineman is eligible. Like what?
Right.
Yeah. Never mind. I
You gotta
changed my
have-
mind in real
you gotta have
time.
some order to the game.
Yeah.
Not like the old days when they just get out there and beat the crap out of each other until somebody gets it to the end zone.
I watched a clip on YouTube the other day. It was, it was on Twitter or X. And it was football back in the 40s or something like that. It was a clip of a game from back in the 40s or 50s.
Yep.
Freaking the guy threw the ball to the receiver. The receiver had like 3 guys that were about to tackle him, but he had a teammate to his right. And at the last second, he laterals it to the right to that receiver. Ouch, I just got an eyelash in my eye. And the guy he lateraled it to went down the field for a touchdown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
There's a good run there. By
that was a
Missouri.
good run. But it got me thinking, is that Schrader again? All right, Schrader again. So fantasy football players take note. Cody Schrader's having a heck of a Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
But anyway, it got me thinking, like, Why don't teams do that now? Throw the ball to your receiver, have him go 5 yards, and then pitch the ball to the right to the lateral guy, and, you know.
It used to be a much more brutal game. That book, Good Clean Violence, the guy talks about how they eventually got to a point where they had to redo the rules because guys were dying on the field. Like, they were getting killed.
Oh, jeez.
Because the game was so brutal.
Yeah.
But that's why they come up with those rules of, the ineligible players, the ones that we think are like, why do you even have that rule? And it exists literally for the safety of the players.
Yeah.
The blindside tackle and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's dangerous when you get a 300-pound lineman going after a 200-pound quarterback, or even the kickers are the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a lot of damage to somebody when they have their leg up in the air like that, and 300-pound lineman comes down on them.
I just saw the Americans are punting, and their punter's name is McNamara, and I was like, hang on a second. When did Cade become a punter? I think it's McNamara. Looks like it. Yeah.
And there goes the flag. Held up by tape.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right. Wow.
All right, national team fields the punt. And he's got a hold of the outside to the right. Gets past the 40. Oh, there it goes on the stream. That's amazing. You want to work to get that back up?
I'll see what I can do here.
All right. Yeah, because you can't see anything now. I got to turn myself down a little bit, too.
Turn myself.
All right, hopefully that's a little bit better on the ears, people. So half of the reason we're having this stream is because we just wanted to see if it would work, streaming in person. So far, it's not. So there you go. All right. John Berger says, I don't get why they don't have it split up regionally. Why are Mizzo players on opposite teams? I don't know. How do they decide the teams for the Senior Bowl? Do you know?
I think the coaches get to divvy them up.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not sure. But at any rate, they gotta mix them up anyway, because when these guys get to the pros, they're not gonna have a choice as to who they play with. So they gotta learn to play with other people.
Yeah. So the national team breaks off a big run here, makes it all the way to the opposite. I don't know. Look like the 35 or so. That's a player from Temple breaking off that run. It just goes to show you it doesn't matter where you play. If you're better than everyone else,
you're just better.
You're just better, yeah.
All right. Let's make another modification here.
What's that?
Try to raise up the laptop to get some of that.
Oh. All right. Hopefully that's good with my sound. I don't know if anybody in the chat can tell me if my sound's super loud, but this is as much of an experiment as it is actual content. As the amount of people we have watching plummets. We're at 11, though.
More of a comedy show?
Yeah. This is if Bob and Doug McKenzie did a sports show.
How's it going, eh?
Well, take off. That's all I got. That's all I remember.
So it's not breaking my eyes.
This is
Hi,
fun.
everybody. Oh, that's a little better, actually.
John says, gotta run. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out, John. Appreciate
John.
it. Yeah. Stick around. We like you. Well, I mean, in another video. I understand you got stuff to do today. Yeah. All right. So they're talking to somebody here. Don't know who that is, but he's a person.
He is a person.
Anyway. All right. So we've got a lull in the action here. And we have topics that we're going to talk about, but it might end up being a little bit sporadic because we're going back and forth from the game to the topics and all that. And I feel like we should probably talk about the Jim Harbaugh leaving a foundation article first.
All right.
So the reason I want to talk about that, while the national team throws a crossing
look at
pattern in the
that.
middle, and he's down at
almost.
the 1 yard line.
That was a nice run, though.
Yeah. Good pitch and catch from the quarterback to the receiver there.
Central Florida.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
No idea. Baker. Somebody Baker. If anybody
from
knows.
Central Florida.
It's Baker from Central Florida.
Javon Baker.
Javon Baker. All right. So we got a comment on a video, I think a short I did. And the guy was saying that Jim Harbaugh didn't leave Michigan a foundation of any sorts, which I thought was kind of silly. And we found an article on the exact opposite as the national team gets stopped behind the line. No, he makes it back to this line of scrimmage. So they're down at the 1 yard line still.
Yeah, this article is by Melanie Maxwell. It came out on the January 31st.
January 31st. That was on that, isn't it MGO blog or something like that?
It might have been. This was came through USA Today,
Okay.
but it could have been MGO blog.
Yeah.
But she references Brian Kelly, who is, for example, weeks before Brian Kelly departed Notre Dame for LSU, he denied rumors he had any interest in leaving Notre Dame. No, Kelly said. I mean, look, I think Mike Tomlin had the best line, right? Unless the fairy godmother comes by with that $250 million check, my wife would want to look at that first. I'd have to run it by her. Then, Kelly's players were shocked to see news on social media that Kelly was taking the LSU job. Kelly had a team meeting the next morning at 7 a.m. The Athletics' Pete Sampson reported Kelly's address to the team lasted less than 2 minutes.
Ouch.
Then he turned around and walked out. He did not take questions from players. So, yeah, I mean, that's a jerk move. And Sharon Moore did an interview, was it yesterday, with Rich Eisen?
Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah.
Talking about how Coach Harbaugh was very transparent the whole time, that he had been talking to them for weeks about wanting to go to the NFL. And was getting Sharon Moore set up the whole time, was talking to the players the whole time, and even came back and talked to the players and spent the day with them, I guess. I don't know how long of a time, but it was a lot more than 2 minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
2 minutes. But okay, so that just, I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. Like 2 minutes. So he didn't want to be there then.
Yeah. And I think what we can look at too is Harbaugh left a good foundation in place, because I think so far, only 2 guys have entered the portal.
Yeah.
And they were both, one of them played but was never a starter.
Okay.
So I think he might have left regardless,
Yeah.
because he was probably looking for another place to maybe be a starter. So, but we haven't lost any of the key players that we were hoping would come back, other than the ones that graduated. But
Right. Well, and that one player that's that's transferring out is Jake Thaw.
okay,
And I think half the reason he's transferring out is because he was embarrassed, because he was the guy who he fumbled the punt in the Rose Bowl and almost went in the end zone.
Yep.
But he also had the presence of mind, and this is what's important. He had the presence of mind to pick up the ball while 3 huge Alabama players are running at him full bore.
Yep.
He grabs the ball and falls down at like the 2 or the 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Saves the game.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I understand the mistake of the muff punt.
Yep.
But he has the presence of mind to end up saving the game.
Right.
So, and he beat himself up all over Twitter for that, and yeah, so I don't know. That was really sad.
That's a priceless lesson right there too. I mean, he got that at a critical time. He's never going to forget that.
No.
And that's probably going to make him an incredible player wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Because he's got a piece of experience that lasted all of 3 seconds or 2 seconds maybe that no other player on the team has.
Right.
That proves not only can he think under pressure, but he can act under pressure and immense pressure and immediately.
With stakes like that,
Yeah.
for sure, too.
I mean, I would hire him in a second. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
All right, national team looking for a touchdown here.
Oh,
it's
wow.
caught. It's caught. Was that caught?
I mean, that was an incredible pass if he did.
Looks like it was caught.
He ripped that one. Oh,
All right, now
they're all getting in.
So that's a touchdown. Touchdown for the national team. And we've got players. They're all dancing and stuff. That was actually a pretty good throw by Bo Nix there.
Oh, look at that. Yeah,
was a
that's
great throw and
perfect catch.
Yeah, Minnesota player with the catch there for the touchdown.
Yep. Brought down by a Bulldog, Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
Not a Missouri Bulldog. a
That's
Georgia Bulldog.
probably the only time you'll ever see a touchdown scored by a Minnesota player against a Georgia player. We got a cat knocking on the door,
Uh-oh.
so that's cool. But Minnesota's got cool helmets too. I like their helmets. Going for the point extra here.
Kind of psychedelic at first.
Yeah.
And then you realize what you're looking at, and it's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Did he? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so anyway, all right, so we bring this up to say, like, okay, so this commenter was saying that Michigan, or Jim Harbaugh didn't leave Michigan with a foundation. And it's just simply not true. Thank you very much for commenting. We appreciate the engagement. But it's absolutely not true. Jim Harbaugh was essentially grooming Sharon Moore from day one. And I firmly believe that
in an appropriate way.
Yes.
Sorry.
I firmly believe, we're just going to scoot on here. I firmly believe that those first 3 games of the season where Jim Harbaugh were suspended, those were the tryouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sharon Moore had the Bowling Green game, I think. Jesse Minter had a game. I think even Jack Harbaugh had a half of a game at one point.
And Mike Hart.
Mike Hart had a half of a game.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Jay Harbaugh, not Jack.
Didn't Jack have a... Oh, no, Jack was just brought on for something else.
Yeah.
He was made like
Jack,
an
his
assistant.
dad, Jack, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was brought on as the, kind of like the, what do you call that when they bring out a cap?
And Joe Milton.
Look at it.
Joe Milton is brought in at quarterback for the American team and is sacked for a 5-yard loss by a Western Michigan player.
Nice.
Let's go. All right,
Broncos.
that's my alma mater. Represent. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna get so many Walmart Wolverine comments for that.
Yep.
And he promptly hands the
look at
ball
him.
off on the next play
Nice.
to a horned frog. Who is that? I can't tell who that is, but I'm guessing that means Cody Schrader's probably done for the day.
Yeah, they got a lot of players to work through.
They got to keep cycling, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So really, I mean, this game you've only got about a quarter to prove what you can do. As Joe Milton's going to take off running
On
here,
the run.
and he's got the
First
first down.
down.
Yeah, almost fumbled it, but he's got the first down. I love it. Joe Milton he's obviously a talented player, but I think it really speaks to his the type of quarterback that he is, that they've brought him in. He's been in for 3 plays and has yet to actually make a pass. And he's got one here. That was a good throw. Got about an 8-yard gain on that. To a TCU player. That's, yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm sorry. So Jack was brought on as like the acting coach or whatever, the symbolic sort of position. Although I'm sure he helped out quite a bit. He's obviously a fantastic coach in his own right.
Did you see what he did with the Michigan baseball team a couple days ago?
No.
I guess the Michigan baseball team was practicing or something, and Jack goes running out onto the baseball field and screams, I got one question for you. Who's got it better than us?
The LA Chargers. Oh, sorry.
Oh, crap. No. That was the other thing, too, is the LA Chargers, like, apparently redid their facility or whatever.
Yeah.
And it had all of Harbaugh's sayings on it. Like, who's got it better than us? And attack each day with an enthusiasm. And
he got to take his with him, but how come PJ Fleck didn't get to take his?
He did. He took row the boat.
I thought they wouldn't let him. All right.
They didn't want to let him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they let him.
All right.
Which I'm glad they did. I found out, because I was all upset about that, PJ Fleck taking the row the boat thing from Western Michigan. But I found out that was actually born out of a family tragedy.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was, he can keep
all
it.
Right.
He has my permission.
Here's the other example they have in here as far as leaving a team in shambles versus leaving a team well-founded like Harbaugh did. Lincoln Riley, and this is in what was her name? Melanie Maxwell's article. Then there's Lincoln Riley, who left Oklahoma via plane in the middle of the night to Los Angeles to become USC's next head coach in November of 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple Oklahoma staff members made the plane trip with Riley and became part of his USC staff. Riley then landed 3 Oklahoma players in the transfer portal, including quarterback Caleb Williams. Williams will likely be the number 1 overall pick in the 24 NFL draft. Oklahoma would go on to have an abysmal 22 season after Riley's departure, going 6-7. He didn't even talk to the players. He just got on a plane and left.
Got on a plane in the middle of the night. I remember that because we were at Walmart, where all good Wolverines go, And as Joe Milton avoids a sack here, he gets the ball off, and it's nowhere near the receiver. He should have just ran. They needed half a yard. He should have just ran for that. Yeah. I could have gotten that. Come on, Joe. I'm just kidding. You're a talented player.
What's funny, too, is that as I think about what people have said about Harbaugh, like people who know him and like him, have said that he may very well be clinically insane. And it's funny because it's just when he does interviews, this is why I've appreciated Sharon Moore already, because when Sharon Moore does an interview, he's coherent.
He doesn't say weird things.
He doesn't say weird things. Harbaugh was always like he looked so uncomfortable. No, he didn't look uncomfortable giving the interviews, but he sounded uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because he would say weird things. But then apparently he had no problem talking to the players, talking to the other coaches, no problem, in person and all that, which, I get.
Yeah.
And the players have talked about how much they love him. I mean, to the point where he's like a father figure to them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that it's fascinating that Harbaugh is that kind of a character, that he can be perceived as clinically insane on one side and then a father figure on the other side. And it's the same guy. He's just an absolute competitor. It's why I wish he hadn't left Michigan, but like we've said, you can't hold a guy like that back, and it would be wrong to do so.
Yeah.
If you held Harbaugh back, if Harbaugh was offered that job and at the Chargers and didn't take it because nobody would let him leave, I think what you then have is essentially a caged animal.
Yeah.
And he's going to feel trapped, and 24 would be a horrible season.
Well, yeah, I mean, Michigan would never be the same.
Right.
So the national team's got the ball back. That's going to be pass interference on the defense here.
Man, that would have been a beautiful catch, though.
Maybe. Is that not pass interference on that?
Apparently he didn't
Florida
hear
State
the rule
player?
about not touching certain areas of your body while on the camera.
Oh, can we make that joke? That's Bill Cosby.
That's all right.
Oh.
The joke is still funny.
I think that was pass interference. That probably should have been called. Do you think ESPN's got their game tracker going? Because otherwise we've just got like this.
All right, hold on.
Mike Leary says Joe Milton only looks for big plays. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case. That's for sure.
You know what?
Which is why he didn't
look
run
for
for that
first.
first down. Literally, they needed half a yard, and he didn't run for it. Why? Because he was looking downfield. And you could see him panic. If he doesn't have the downfield throw, then he panics for a second and doesn't know what to do, and then delivers a horrible ball to his what are they called? The dump down receiver or something like that? He could have just dumped it off short to that receiver, but he didn't throw it anywhere near him. That was a gimme first down that he completely missed. And we got some highlights of, I think his name is Des Walker. Oh, this was the receiver from North Carolina that almost didn't get granted eligibility by the NCAA this year, and he had to sit out a few games because of it. And I can't remember why. I think it was because he was transferring. He transferred from a couple of different places, and ended up at North Carolina, but he had transferred more than once or twice, and so he had to sit out because of that. But then finally got granted his waiver.
Ooh.
We got a pass to the right side of the field that's incomplete. Sam Hartman's in for the national team now. He's a good quarterback too. It's kind of surprising that Notre Dame didn't have a better season. Honestly, I wonder if Notre Dame makes the playoffs if they were able to beat Ohio State, but obviously you can't beat Ohio State with 10 men on the field. Marcus.
The old 10-man defense.
Yeah, Marcus. What
There
are you
is no game cast.
doing? Oh,
At
bummer.
least none that I can find, so I will adjust our screen.
Okay. We're adjusting. Pass to the left side of the field, downfield to Des Walker again. Des is slow getting up. He's up. All right, he's up and he's trotting off, but he looks a little shaken up on that one. That was a clean play by the Florida State player there, I think. Well, yeah, that was clean. That was a clean play. We have the Oregon Duck mascot dancing with the Reese's mascot.
You can see it moving out there.
That's cool. You can see the Reese's logo moving now too.
Professional show business.
So if anybody's looking for a job as a producer, we can't pay, but we have great personalities and a fun working environment.
No guaranteed money, all guaranteed fun.
All right, so I just saw at the bottom, they got the draft predictions going, and they had J.J. McCarthy to. Do you want to take a guess?
The Chargers.
Yeah. Yep, they had J.J. McCarthy to the Chargers. Is the prediction, which would be, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. But
That'd be
they've got
kinda
a
neat.
good quarterback. Although, okay, so I had said this in a community post at one point that JJ needed a couple years sitting behind an established quarterback in the NFL and to learn from so that he could develop a little bit. And I wonder if, I mean, he would have that situation at the Chargers, but I wonder if, what's his name? The starting quarterback for the Chargers. What is his name?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm picturing him in my mind right now, but I can't remember what his name is. Goodness gracious. Does anybody else know his name? Hail. Herbert. Justin Herbert.
Yep.
Yeah. I said that JJ should sit behind an established quarterback for a little while, but I don't know if Justin Herbert's the guy.
Okay.
Because Justin Herbert's also pretty young.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't, like JJ wouldn't be starting for a few years, at least.
Right.
Which, I don't know, maybe that's okay. Maybe he pulls a Tom Brady
Yeah.
and ends up playing until he's, 45?
No. Was it 45?
I have something stupid like
Yeah.
that.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I saw about JJ is that he's the draft sheet they do on him. That he's got all the skills that we saw in college. Basically, where he's lacking is that he's light.
Yeah.
That literally he needs to put on 20, 25 pounds. Because he's 6'3", 202 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So I mean he's obviously in shape, but he's kind of a thinner build. And he needs
scrawny.
to put on some muscle so he can take those hits from those guys who are going to be bigger in the NFL.
Yeah, really. Well, and he can't take hits like that.
Right.
He was taking hits at Michigan that he really shouldn't be taking in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you do that, your shelf life plummets if you start taking hits too early, too quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're back. Senior Bowl is back. They're looking at, cornerback Cooper DeJean. Oh, no, they're not doing draft predictions right now. But speaking of somebody that the Lions should take,
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean is pretty good as a cornerback out of Iowa. So they should probably draft him because defense needs a little help at that position. Man, I'm still not over the Lions losing that game. That was hard to watch.
That was a tough one, yeah.
That was sad. All right, so
I'll try.
Senior Bowl. We're waiting for the action to start back up again, but obviously we have to get the Bo Nix interview out of the way. So let's hurry up from that, please. They're still talking to him.
Try to do something here. Let's see.
What are we doing?
Excuse my reach. Hopefully this won't get us a copyright
Hopefully not.
copyright hit.
I don't even know what you're doing.
I'm not sure I know what I'm doing, to be honest.
All right, well, I'll keep talking.
I just
So-
wish the laptop was closer. Is what I wish.
American team has the ball now, starting at their own 25. I can't tell who's in at quarterback right now, but he's going to hand it off, so it doesn't really matter. He's got a nice run up the middle for 7 yards. Oh, that's Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader's back in? They must have given him a second quarter to play with.
Here's 50 cents, kid. Go make a play.
They're talking about Bo Nix still. Bo Nix, NCAA single season record for something, and it's gone now. And that's nice. He's got the record for something, which is cool. All right, so what were we looking at here? So American team on the 32-yard line. I still can't tell who's in at quarterback, but he's got a... Oh, is that a Tennessee helmet? Oh, that's Joe Milton. Duh. Right, because it's the second quarter. They've switched ends of the field. So that would make more sense, wouldn't it? So I'm curious as to where Joe Milton's going to go in the draft, because I feel like he could be really good in the NFL, but he's really got some stuff that he's got to tighten up. I mean, he's got to be more patient as a quarterback, because like Mike here is right. He always goes for that deep pass, and if it's not there, then he panics. That's why Tennessee's offense, it felt like they were really hit or miss. He's going to drop back to pass here.
All right, my idea is officially not going to work.
And hits a Florida State player. Is that Keon Coleman? It looks like him. It was a good hit by the American defense here. Josh Proctor from Ohio State with the tackle. Not good coverage, though. I'm not sure what he's doing. Sorry, Josh. I got to get in some shots, Ohio State. I'm sorry. What were you trying to do?
I was just trying to see if I could get the crawl on the broadcast there to be on ours, but YouTube TV is blocked out. You can't restream it, basically.
Yeah.
Even on a browser, it's blocked out.
That makes sense. They do that on purpose because they don't want you making money from something they're making money from.
Are we making money?
I don't know. Are we making money? Oh, that actually reminds me. All right. So everybody who's watching, we really appreciate it. We are, I can't see the clock. We're 12 minutes.
12:38. Left in the half.
12:35 now. Left in the first half, which is cool. Yeah, I guess we're doing like a sort of an experimental stream to see if we can stream in person. Because when we really hit it big, we're going to have a massive studio and it's going to be great. Better lighting. Probably a flag that doesn't fall off the thing here. Which is going to be awesome.
No windows in the back.
No windows in the back. Joe Milton throws a pass about 5 yards. He's tackled right before the first down line. So I think they're going to be about 3rd and 1 here. And, Cody Schrader's still in.
The one thing we've really got going for us here is we have a nice 55-inch screen TV on the other side of the laptop.
It is nice. It is nice.
So it's at least easy to see what's happening.
Wait, is this the one from downstairs?
Yeah.
Really?
The old one.
Oh, okay. 2-yard run for Cody Schrader. They're going to grab a first down here. So I guess, aren't they supposed to rotate players? Like, I feel like the national team, who are the gray ones? The national team or the orange team?
The gray ones.
Or
there you go. The gray ones are the Americans.
The gray ones,
orange
the
is
Americans.
national.
Yeah. So the gray ones, the Americans, are still running Cody Schrader at running back. I feel like they're supposed to get more players in, but they're not.
Maybe they switch them all up at the half.
Maybe they do. All right. In any case, that's a first down for the Americans. Joe Milton still at quarterback. We've got a Georgia Bulldog playing some slot receiver here. Milton's going to look. He's going to dance. Oh, now he's going to run. Okay. Well, he's going to throw it.
Oh!
And it's intercepted.
In the end zone.
Oh, you can't do that at the Senior Bowl, guys. Can't do that.
The Lions might hire him.
Hey, the Lions are good now, man.
That's true. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Man, now we can't make Lions jokes
We can't
anymore.
make
They're
Lions
actually
jokes
good this
yeah.
year.
We can make Bears jokes.
Oh, yeah. Let's
make Bears jokes.
Oh, the Bears could hire him.
Yeah, the Bears can hire him. Stupid Bears. All right, so many people might not know. We started the season with 70 subscribers, and we are now currently at 560, which is a miracle considering...
We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we have fun doing it.
We have fun doing it. And I just thought of this and didn't run it by him, so we'll see what he thinks. In real time here.
La, 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 la.
There are 7 people watching right now. Really appreciate that. Share with all your family and friends if you want them to watch this thing that we got going here. In any case, my idea is this. Because I'm a grifter. First person, because at 500 subscribers, you're allowed super chats. First person to send us a super chat. We will print it out. We will frame it. And it will be a part of one of our studios. And you will see it every single stream. Probably.
What if they say something inappropriate?
Keep it PG. First person to send a super chat.
Family show.
Yeah. Although somebody said ass on the last one, so I don't
What?
know. But yeah, so that's my challenge. We've got a super chat challenge, guys.
Super chat challenge.
First one goes up. Anyway, all right, so we're at commercial break now. Are we done with the Jim Harbaugh foundation thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think that was all of that one.
let's go ahead and move on to.
I have another stat.
You have another stat. Go
Yes.
ahead, hit us.
Every player that's ever been in the Super Bowl and won the NFC or AFC championship has appeared in the Super Bowl. I didn't read that right. Because I just said that twice. Every player that's ever been in the Super Bowl and won the NFC AFC championship game has gone on to play in the Super Bowl. No, it's still wrong.
We also need writers.
We need some writers.
If anybody's interested
See, now I'm going to keep trying to figure that one out. Anybody who's ever played
in the AFC,
in the NFC or AFC championship
championship
games
game.
has gone on to play in the Super Bowl.
But that's also not true because there are teams that have made it to the NFC championship game and lost.
Won the NFC.
Okay, I was going to say
AFC
we just watched a team play in the NFC championship and they lost. And we know for a fact that they haven't been there. Why? Because we live an hour away from that city.
Let me read that again.
I don't know what.
Every player that's ever been in the Super Bowl and won the championship game has gone on to play. No, I just wrote it down wrong. That's all. It was funnier in my head. I came up with this stuff this morning.
So American national team has the ball at their own 5-yard line and they're going to get dropped for a loss.
Okay, here's a good one.
All right.
There is a 1-to-1 correlation between playing in the Senior Bowl and having played college ball.
So the national team's going to have it at their own 4-yard line. A.J. Barner now playing tight end for the national team. Obviously a Michigan great.
Oh, look at the Reese's mascot.
Yeah.
It's a little Reese's cup, peanut butter cup,
Yes,
walking
it is.
around.
That
That's
makes
fun.
sense. Yeah. I wonder if it's edible like the Pop-Tart
Yeah, I
one.
wonder if anybody's tried to bite his head.
Yeah. Bite his head off. Sam Hartman standing in his own end zone. He's going to take a... Oh, it's batted at the line of scrimmage. Oh, dangerous throw there. Dangerous from Sam Hartman. Quarterback's not having a good day so far. Bo Nix had an okay day. He didn't really do a lot, though. I mean, he threw a touchdown pass, but it felt, a little underwhelming. I wonder how they...
Oh, man, nice jump.
I wonder how they determine to call the plays. Like, do you have to call the same number of passing plays as you do running plays? Because that way everybody gets a fair shake.
I would, I guess I would hope, I'm going to assume, I would hope that the coaches doing this are, and I'm not sure if they're actual Super Bowl, NFL head coaches, or if they're like the assistant coaches who maybe do team prep before the head coach gets there or has to deal with them. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine what they're trying to do specifically is to highlight as many of these guys as they can. And give them opportunities to do standout plays. Because I believe the assumption would be that any one of these players can do the standard run play, pass play, option play. What they need is to be able to show off their skills. So they're going to design these plays to, give the receivers opportunity to get out and make a fantastic catch. Give the quarterbacks an opportunity to scramble and throw on the run. Mm-hmm. Give the defense the opportunity to, get a sack. And obviously you can't plan that. You can't say, okay, now you're going to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, they don't script it,
But
theoretically.
But I'm sure they're doing this in a way to get all of the players the ability to show their stuff. Because otherwise, if you're playing to win, you're working with your key players, and not everybody's going to get the opportunity to shine.
Right.
So they've got to do this in such a way that every player at every position gets an opportunity to, in some aspect, shine and show off their skills.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there really is no point for them being there. If the coaches aren't going to help them show off, then why go to the Senior Bowl?
Right. I wonder if there must be a max on how many they allow at the Senior Bowl too. Also, the national team the national team just punted, so the Americans are going to have it. But there must be a cap on how many players they invite to the Senior Bowl too. Then,
right.
Otherwise, you'll have too many.
Right.
Obviously.
There's got to be.
As we watch a
Wow.
creepy commercial where some person sticks their foot out and hits a little girl on an airplane. That's weird. That's really creepy. I wish John Berger would come back and talk to us.
30, 60, 90. Yeah, there's a little over 100 players there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So when you can only play 11 at a time, well, 22 at a time, both sides.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, moving on then, because we are now at another commercial break.
What do you know about the SEC and the Big Ten forming an advisory group?
Yeah, that's a thing that is happening, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so initial reaction to that is, I guess we were texting about it, and you said that they're not waiting for. Well, I'll let you say it because you had the.
Well, it looks like they're not waiting for the NCAA to die. They're going to kill it.
Yes. What I read the press release a little bit. The one thing that stuck out to me though, and a lot of other people were saying the same thing, was that they're saying they're forming this for the betterment of the student athlete. Mm-hmm. But really though, I mean, I'm not saying. So I guess
I mean, the question there would have to be, what are they going to do that's going to make it any better than the NCAA?
Well, I guess my thing is that I have no doubt that they can do it better. So college football needs a governance board that is separate from the NCAA, because the NCAA is a joke of an institution right now. I mean, we see that with the Florida State investigation, with the Tennessee investigation, and Tennessee and the state of Virginia are fighting back, which is cool. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with the investigation with Michigan. But the president himself came out and said Michigan won fair and square.
Yeah. Isn't there an Ohio State investigation?
And now there's an Ohio State investigation, which... Who even knows if there's legs to that? Because that whole tampering thing, which we can get to, is such a bizarre... Basically, like, the NCAA is getting mad at schools for breaking rules, but there are no rules to break. So they're just kind of making rules up on the fly and saying, you broke it. You broke the rule.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess it doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But so they're saying that they're doing this for the betterment of the student athletes, but I'm guessing it probably has more to do with money.
I bet it does.
But then you think if they're doing what they're doing, even if it is for money, but it is better for the student athletes, they can certainly do it better than the NCAA.
Yeah. Well, and this article it's from an SEC staff member, and it does say about the betterment for the student athletes. These challenges, including but not limited to recent court decisions, pending litigation, a patchwork of state laws, complex governing proposals, compel the two conferences to take a leadership role in developing solutions for a sustainable future of college sports. Yeah, so they're both the Big Ten and the SEC at large, both of them, are fed up with the NCAA.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. I suppose that lends some credence to the coaches that we heard were upset with Michigan. But I'm not sure if they were upset with Michigan or if they were upset with the NCAA that it ever came to anything at all, or... I mean, I can see where they're frustrated with the NCAA because they're not doing anything. So if Michigan really did cheat, if they really did put players in danger, and the NCAA said, well, we'll look into it and get back to you in a couple of years, well, I can understand why those coaches would be mad. If my kids are in danger, I don't want them to just tell me in a couple of years. I want to know now.
But I guess exactly. But then there's also, what if the coaches weren't actually, because we only know one side of that call. Mm-hmm. We only know that the call happened, and I know like people like Isaiah Hole, he's got people on the ground there that know way more than we do, and I haven't heard Isaiah say anything more about it.
Yep.
But I guess right now I'm thinking we're at a point where we only know one side of that call that happened between the ADs, the coaches, and the Big Ten about Michigan. Were they upset with Michigan, or is it possible that they were upset that this investigation happened and now they were trying to figure out what's going to happen to Michigan, because it could also happen to them because they were...
They're doing the same thing. Oh.
Did you just bonk that?
Yeah.
He did. National American team just went for a field goal. The Alabama kicker hit it off the right upright. Oh man.
That hurts.
Yeah, it does. So not a great showing from most of the players in the Senior Bowl. Cody Schrader and Bo Nix so far I think are the two best players. But yeah, now we'll hit a commercial break. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's what I mean is we only know one angle. We don't even know. I mean, people were upset with Michigan for giving up against the Big Ten when with that whole restraining order situation. But is it possible that Michigan found out something that they were like, okay, if, like Chris Partridge talked to people that he wasn't supposed to. He didn't mess with any of the evidence or anything like that, but he talked to somebody he wasn't supposed to. That is a violation.
Yep.
And he got fired because of it. Maybe they found that out and said, all right, you know what? We'll fire Chris Partridge. He kind of deserved it. Can we just drop this afterwards? And that's why they, quote unquote, gave up.
Okay.
So we'll never know all
Right.
sides of what happened is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this article goes on to say the advisory group will engage with other constituencies as necessary, including consultation with student athletes and other key leadership groups from within both conferences. Quote, the Big Ten and the SEC have substantial investment in the NCAA, and there is no question that the voices of our two conferences are integral to governance and other reform efforts, said Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti. We recognize the similarity in our circumstances as well as the urgency to address the common challenges we face. Yeah, similarity in their circumstances. So they're all frustrated.
Yeah, But this had to have been Greg Sankey's idea, because Tony Petitti feels like the type of person who's just kind of going whichever way. Because I mean, why would Tony Petitti basically follow orders from the NCAA just to then say, okay, now I'm going to turn around and create an advisory group that is going to directly compete with the NCAA.
Right.
So this was a Greg Sankey idea, probably. My guess. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
And the only reason, I'm betting you too, now I don't know any of this for sure, but I'm betting you too, the only reason he got Tony Petitti involved was because the Big Ten is now the other big conference. Because now we're at the Big Two conferences, or the Power Two conferences.
Power Two, yeah.
And the little however many else are out there. And then the Pac-12 just ceased to exist.
Okay, they've got a speed tracker above the receivers and the defender, and these guys are running 15, 16s. I think the one guy was running almost 18 miles an hour there.
They had a speedometer or whatever. They were tracking the speed of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think it was the receiver for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And I think he hit something like 25 or 26.
Holy cow.
I know, right?
Is that possible?
It is, yeah.
So I remember Denard, they did that to Denard Robinson back in the day, and he was, what, 21,
He was pushing
21 and a half?
21 and 22 or something like that. I mean, he was fast.
Yeah, I guess with the... Oh! So a beautiful pass for a first down and more, and he dropped it.
Well,
I'm not even sure. Did it even get to him all the way?
yeah.
It was a little bit behind him.
I'm going to completely disagree with you. That was not a beautiful pass.
No. Well,
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ultimately, no, because it fell behind him and he didn't catch it. But
Well, yeah.
it was beautiful in that, I mean, he was wide. Had he caught it, he had wide open green to make a touchdown.
Yeah, national team's got the ball now. Theo Johnson was wide open for a first down and probably another 10 yards, and Sam Hartman threw it probably 5 yards behind him, and Johnson didn't have a chance at it. So now, all right, national team's got the ball. Third down, I think.
Oh, I thought
Second down, maybe. Got
Get into
about
the pile.
probably 5 yards on that run there. Although, Sam Hartman looks a little frustrated. He's got beautiful hair, though. I'll tell you what. Oh, what is this? What is this? All right. They're showing a slow-mo of him brushing his hair back like he's
Future TikTok influencer.
freaking, yeah. Goodness gracious. Stop with that nonsense.
Although, admittedly, I am jealous of his hair. I have
He
to.
does have nice hair.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, national team's still got the ball. This must be third down. I can't see the thingamajigger. No, it's 2nd and 6 is what it is. 2nd and 6. They're waiting to snap it. Hartman's got it. He's dropping back to pass. Looking. Nobody's up. Oh, he's got a wide open man from... Who is that? Oh, I thought he was from Iowa. No,
UCF?
That's a UCF player. That's Baker again. Baker's still out there catching balls. Look at that.
The last paragraph in this is, the advisory group will have no authority to act independently and will only serve as a consulting body. Its composition, charter, and timetable, as well as the specific questions it might examine, have yet to be determined. So
What?
they don't have any power to do anything. They're just going to say they're putting together this committee to figure things out. It's a consulting body, so they'll either come together to consult the NCAA and tell them this is how you should do it, and I would imagine at that point, if it doesn't work, that consulting body will become more of an authoritative body.
Well, but who gives them the power?
Well, they're already part of the NCAA. They've agreed to be part of that organization.
Yeah.
So they've given the NCAA the power to do that. So they would have to take it back from the NCAA.
Well, they would have to leave.
Right.
So then,
And that becomes there's more to it, because to leave the NCAA at this point has a lot of, I would think, legal ramifications, because the NCAA governs, who can be on teams, how long they can be on teams, what they can do. I mean, it's not just football; it's all of the sports.
yeah.
So all of them are affected by it.
Hey, Sam Hartman finds AJ Barner for about a 5-yard gain there.
But the NCAA is so interwoven in college sports that it's not as simple as, okay, we're not going to be part of the NCAA anymore, because that could potentially mean, okay, if you're not going to be part of the NCAA is going to say to the teams that are in the NCAA, okay, you can't play against any teams that aren't part of the NCAA. But theoretically, if both Big Ten and the SEC leave, they've got all the teams they need.
Well, they've got all the teams they need, but then all the TV money goes to the SEC and the Big Ten.
Right.
So then all the other schools are like, all right, we'll just go with them.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
Oh yeah,
at
it would
that
definitely
point-
be a domino effect.
Yeah.
If the SEC and the Big Ten step out and literally become the NFL minor leagues, of course all of the other ones are going to want to be with them.
Which is exactly what it'll end up being, is Sam Hartman keeps the ball himself and gets a nice gain there. That was a nice fake out there. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's I feel like that's what would happen then. So if the Big Ten, so this advisory board basically, as we're going into commercial break here, this advisory board is essentially sitting in wait. I mean, they're going to act as a consultancy group, but I feel like they're just saying that because it's like, but behind the scenes, they're thinking, okay, and if you ever screw up, we're going to toss some dollars at some lobbyists and have Congress probably get involved somehow or another and eventually break off from the NCAA, because what you can do, you can break off college football specifically. The other sports don't have to go with you. So like Michigan can have...
Yeah, I suppose that's possible, yeah.
That's probably what would end up happening.
Yeah.
But then you're probably going to... They're probably going to seek a change in the language somehow. Well, actually, maybe not. I was going to say they'll probably seek a change in the language to avoid calling football players student athletes and to instead get them called employees. But I'm betting this is probably going to end up being for the money, which means that as soon as the Big Ten and the SEC leave the NCAA, create their own advisory board and have their own governance or their own league, they're probably going to fight back against like universities getting or players getting a share of the TV profits as much as the NCAA has been. So it's the same problem all over again.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're always going to have that problem, because if they don't... I mean, how does the Big Ten and the SEC self-govern without bias?
Yeah.
I mean, ostensibly, and getting back to the roots, that's part of the reason the NCAA exists. Not just to standardize the rules, but to give them a way to arbitrate.
Yeah.
So at some point, they need a third-party arbitrator, and like you said, it's the same thing all over again, eventually.
Yeah, so
And I don't mean to be
what are we doing
defeatist
here?
or anything, but I think it's just, maybe this will be enough to shake up the NCAA and get rid of the corruption that we suspect is there, and fix the NCAA.
But there's probably going to end up being corruption here somehow too.
Probably. I mean, eventually. And I hate to be defeatist and pessimistic, but it's just when there's this kind of money involved. I mean, we're at billions now.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away from, and it's almost like, I mean, for us it's easy because we can just sit back and watch the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how they deal with it.
Because right now the powers that be have no incentive to pay the players.
Sure.
None.
All right.
They have no incentive to pay the players. Why? Because
True, because they can't leave.
Well, yeah, the players can't leave. College football interest is basically at an all-time high. They're making all kinds of money. Sam Hartman's looking downfield for AJ Barner.
Barner almost has a one-handed catch.
Almost. That wasn't a great throw, but he could have gotten it.
Little high.
Yeah, maybe he could have gotten it. I could have gotten it.
You think you're taller than Barner?
No. But I'm a better tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, if he had JJ would have gotten that. JJ would have put it right on the money. Yeah, Hartman put a little too much air under that throw. That was
A little bit.
Yeah, and Barner took a hard hit because of it too.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I realize I'm biased, but I look at this sea of helmets and I think that Michigan helmet is still the best one.
Oh yeah. Obviously. I do think Minnesota's got an argument though. That is a cool
You think
helmet.
so?
Well, the
I think it's too busy.
Well, the color scheme is cool, but like
Yeah.
the neon gopher on the one side,
I mean, that is cool.
that's
yeah.
pretty sweet, you know? But yeah, it's a little busy. I will say the two helmets I recognize the most out of any teams are absolutely
Yep.
Michigan and Ohio State.
What's that one? That's in Texas.
That's Rice.
Rice.
Rice University. That's McCaffrey?
It's like a cross between the Lions and Dallas.
Yeah, it is almost. That's almost, I think those are the Dallas colors.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
pretty close. McCaffrey. I wonder if that's Dylan McCaffrey.
I can look it up.
You can look at it. All right. He's looking it up. National team has the ball. We haven't been paying attention. Sorry.
Luke.
They're on the 14-yard line. Sam Hartman's got it. He's looking for the end zone. And,
almost intercepted.
Broken up. I think Des Walker there was looking for a pass interference call. Not going to get it, though. Let's see if he should have gotten it here. They're showing a little bit of grabbing, but the Auburn player was looking for the ball. That wasn't PI. That was just good coverage by the Auburn player.
The guy from Rice is Luke McCaffrey.
He, I think he's part of the same family. I think he's like the younger brother of Dylan.
Okay.
Even I think.
And
Pretty
the McNamara is Austin McNamara from, of all places, Texas Tech. Austin from Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
like they're not even playing live snaps on. Did he miss that?
No.
Yeah, he did.
He got it. They blew the whistle before he kicked it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
A false start or something.
maybe okay. So Troy Taylor was the holder. Their national team was going for a field goal. He missed. That's a miss. Yep, the ref's calling a
Really?
miss. Yeah, Stanford kicker just missed a field goal from about 30 yards.
Okay, that's got to be some kind of weird optical illusion because that looked like it went right through.
You're not wearing your glasses.
I'm not, but
So,
I swear that looked like it went right through.
yeah, Joshua Carty, the kicker from, Stanford, missed the field goal from about 30 yards or so. Two-time first-team All-Pac-12. So he's clearly an accomplished player. You know what? I bet you nobody cares about this game.
You know?
Well, you only got 4 people watching, so
That's all right.
I'm having fun, though. I don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, out of you 4 people, if anybody sends us a super chat, we'll frame it.
Remember the guidelines.
Yeah. Also, keep it G. You know, this is a family
Oh,
show.
now we're down to G. It was PG earlier.
Well, I realized you can say some stuff in a PG movie now, so
You could say some stuff.
you can say some stuff. You can. Oh, it's intercept. Oh,
no.
He dropped the interception.
Wow, that was a whole lot of bad playing there.
American team dropped back to pass, or the quarterback did, and almost threw an interception there. Is that Pruitt? What's his name? Jeremy Pruitt? Look him up.
Look him up. Looking.
Look him up. Man, the quarterback play has been wanting.
There's a Pratt and a Pritchett and a Pooney.
Who's the one from the Green Wave? I can't remember who the Green Wave are. Does anybody know who the Green Wave are? Is it Coastal
Well,
Carolina?
if it was Pratt, it was Tulane. Michael Pratt from Tulane.
Tulane? Are they the
He
Green
is.
Wave?
He's the QB. Yeah, it must be him. He's the QB.
Yeah. Oh, he dropped the snap. It's fumbled. It's on the ground. The Michigan players got it. Heck yeah, Jalen Harrell. All right. Jalen Harrell with the recovery for the national team. Not a good showing from this Tulane quarterback here. The center kicked the ball out of his hands, though. That wasn't entirely his fault. I mean, he certainly should have grabbed it before, but Jalen Harrell with the fumble recovery. Man, oh man. This has been a bad game so far. These players are trying to get like one last pitch into the NFL scouts, and so far it's been, I don't even know if you can say all defense as much as it's been really bad offense. Except for Cody Schrader and Bo Nix.
I just realized I'm so used to saying AFL and NFL that I forgot that they stand for National Football League and American Football League, which would explain the names of the teams.
Oh! Yeah. Okay. I didn't get that either. All right. Sam Hartman's back out there. And he throws a pick! Oh, my gosh. And he's still up and going. Who is this guy?
Man.
I don't know.
Oh,
Nobody can tackle
I can't
him.
stop. And he's out
Down
of
the
bounds.
sideline he goes. Oh, my goodness. And he's out probably somewhere around the 50. So the American team gets the ball back, and on the first play, Sam Hartman throws a pick.
To Jarvis Brownlee Jr. from Louisville.
Guys, skip the Senior Bowl. It seems to be in your best interest to not play this game.
How does that makes you look this bad?
I'm still looking at my volume there, and every time I get the least bit excited, it pops in red. That's why we only got 5 people watching. Is because I'm blowing their ears out.
Blowing it out. We need somebody to monitor the levels.
What a terrible throw! Put it right on in the the worst possible spot. Now they're making it rain.
Drops his helmet.
Goodness gracious! All right. So I'm probably going to go to commercial here for a second. So what else do we got? We got that. We were talking about the NCAA there.
We were. Actually, here's a quick one. I want to talk about. So we've got 3. Oh no, they're going to go right back to it.
We're not going to commercial.
No
we're going
commercials.
Straight to the American team's got the ball back. So the quarterback from Tulane drops back to pass. He's going to dump it off to
Short
Cody
pass.
Schrader
Oh.
again for 8 yards.
8 yards there.
And man,
We got 20 seconds left in the half. What are we at? 7-7.
yeah, this has been a really.
I guess the
boring
score
game.
doesn't necessarily matter. It's
No.
just seeing what the players can do.
Not score, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
So he
first down pass.
Dumps it off again to Cody Schrader. All right, so any NFL team, here's your game plan. You draft Schrader, and then I don't care who your quarterback is, just dump it off to him and let him go. Because he's getting like 15 yards of play.
Yeah. And that's the end of the half.
That's the end of the half. All right. We're going to half. Are we streaming? Are we going to keep going? It's 2:30.
Well, here I got a couple of things. We can
All right,
we can skip the Ohio State thing, I guess.
We'll skip that for right now. Maybe we can do something tomorrow or whatever and talk about that.
A couple of things I wanted to look at. So we've got 3 new coaches in the Big Ten, right?
Okay.
Sharon Moore,
Jonathan
Smith at Michigan State,
Yep.
and Kurt Signetti
Okay.
at Indiana. Now, okay, so we know Sharon Moore's resume is he's 4-0 already
Yes, he is.
with wins against Ohio State and Penn State.
Yep.
So that's Sharon Moore. We got that. Jonathan Smith, so he left Oregon State for Michigan State. His record at Oregon State was 34-35 overall, 1-1 in bowl games.
Okay.
So Michigan State, I think, is picking up an average coach. And where would you put Oregon State and Michigan State as far as talent levels and historically
Oh man.
production?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because it's not like Oregon State is bad. I mean, they've been consistently ranked over the last few seasons, I think. They played a tough game against Washington. I think they almost beat Washington, actually, this season. I actually think that they're probably on the same level, but Michigan State, it would be when they had Mark D'Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah, so they would be probably
So you think
pretty
Jonathan
similar.
Smith is equivalent to D'Antonio?
I think he could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right.
I think he'll probably. I mean, there's a reason he went from Oregon State over to Michigan State, and I believe it has more to do with the conference than it does the school. I think if Oregon State were in a more stable conference, maybe he stays. Maybe he goes to Washington. I don't know,
Yeah.
because he had mentioned that wanting to do that.
That's right. He wanted to
Yeah.
wait for that job. He
Thought
he should have waited for that job to open up.
But like, I don't think he's a bad coach by any means. I think with the resources that Oregon State has, which I believe are not fantastic, he did pretty well.
Well, that's interesting because I think there's a lot of factors there because if you would think that any position a coach takes would theoretically be a step up or at least lateral,
Yeah.
unless they've fallen on hard times, like say a Rich Rod or a Hoke who had to take a step back.
Yeah.
But there's no reason that Jonathan Smith couldn't take a lateral or upward move. So he's got to be seeing Michigan State as an upward move, but apparently not as upward as Washington would have been. So, but given that, I mean, he's looking at he's an average coach, 34-35 with 1-1 in bowl games, and that to me, combined with the fact that he said he wished he would have waited for the Washington job, I think does not bode well for Michigan State. I think he's only going to be there for a short time, and then he's going to check out.
Yeah. I mean, you also look at the situation that Michigan State is in right now. Their roster is completely depleted, although Jonathan Smith has done a good job of bringing in some players, getting some good recruits. But it's not enough. They absolutely need more.
Yeah.
You've got USC. UCLA is kind of on an upward trend. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Washington's certainly on a downward trend, and then Oregon actually is side by side with Ohio State as early favorites for the Big Ten.
Okay.
So Michigan State, I mean, they had Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan to worry about. Now they've got Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Oregon, USC, to an extent, UCLA and Washington.
Yeah.
I think could both beat them still. I mean, Washington is obviously depleted right now, but who knows? They're not in a good position.
Right.
So that alone, honestly, could make it challenging for Jonathan Smith. And he honestly, we're seeing a lot of coaches right now ditching for the NFL way earlier than they probably should because they're getting fed up with the way that college athletics is being run right now with NIL, transfer portal rules, and the fact that the NCAA apparently just feels like going after anybody and everyone for anything.
Right.
So under normal circumstances, I would say that's actually a good hire.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're living in normal circumstances with CFB right now.
Right. Yeah. We'll just have to. We'll see. We'll see soon enough.
Yeah.
What are we? 8 months away from college football? 7.5. Well, if they start late August. Anyway. So Indiana has hired Curt Cignetti. This one, I feel, is the much more interesting hire.
Okay.
Curt Cignetti brought James Madison into the FBS.
Yes, he did.
So he brought them up. He was 52-9 overall, and that's it's 2 years in the FBS. I think if 3 or 4 years in the FCS. He was 11-1 last year, so at his second year in the FBS, his total FBS record now is 19-4.
I mean, yeah, James Madison.
Indiana picked him up. I have a feeling that Indiana now is going to get their next season kickstarted, because Curt Cignetti here is on a roll, and now he's got. I mean, you're talking about resources going from James Madison to Indiana. He's at least doubled his resources,
I think,
and he could very well put Indiana in contention.
Well, but I don't know. I mean,
or at the very least, make Indiana dangerous.
Well, he might make Indiana dangerous.
I guess you'd probably look at it that way this year. He probably could make Indiana dangerous this year.
Maybe he builds something. I don't know. I guess the way I see it is if he's coaching James Madison administration are probably, like they don't care about football. Maybe. I don't know. But let's just say they're at James Madison University. They're not necessarily known for football.
Right.
So this coach comes in, Cignetti, and says, we really don't need that much to be better than everyone else in our conference. And they're like, well, all right, let's give you some resources, see what we can do. And then he does it.
Yeah.
If he goes to Indiana, can he have the same conversation with the administration and say, like, we're in the Big Ten. You've got NIL as an issue. You've got the transfer portal as an issue. Michigan's taken all of our best tight ends and backup quarterbacks. So, yeah, can they spend to keep up with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, USC, Washington, Oregon? I mean,
I don't know.
Can they? And I don't think that they can. So I think Cignetti's going to have a lot of really good players that are going to, he's going to have a lot of players that have a lot of heart, and he's going to have some decent talent on that team, but they're not going to have the resources to pull in the players and build the culture that they need to beat the Michigans and Ohio States and Oregons and USCs of the world.
Which I guess brings us back to what PJ Fleck said a couple of months ago, that NIL causing that problem where you develop a player who may have been unknown, and you take their freshman year and their sophomore year and you develop them into a good player. All of a sudden they're getting NIL offers and they're leaving for another school.
Yes.
So, which is why PJ Fleck said, Minnesota might just be the minor league preparatory school for the Michigans, Ohio States, Penn States, and that kind of thing.
Well, they're not going to Michigan.
Or not to Michigan, but Ohio State and Alabama and all the SEC teams, I guess, they're really kicking out the NIL.
Yeah, Michigan, I feel like, was recruited strictly off of culture.
Yeah.
And they were saying, come here because we have a better culture and we'll develop you and eventually you'll get some NIL, but you got to earn it. But the NIL at Michigan is still just a disaster.
Right.
Yeah, they're not getting much of anything there.
But still, even as a disaster, they just won the national championship.
Exactly.
And primarily, the only people they lost were the guys who graduated.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So there's something good going on there.
Yeah, there's some serious culture going on.
Yeah,
There.
and Sharon Moore appears to be carrying it on. Otherwise, they would be like, "Oh, we don't like Sharon Moore, so we're going to leave because of that."
Right. Yeah.
But they seem to like Sharon Moore as much as they liked Harbaugh. So
well, and this is why I'm not concerned about Ohio State spending. We were going to talk about this, but Ohio State spending whatever $13 billion
million.
Million? Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Ohio State spending $13 million on bringing in these transfer players because first off, none of them are on the lines. They don't have any D line or O line people coming in, so they're all skill positions.
Special teams.
No, skill positions.
Okay,
like receivers, running backs, quarterback.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
or defensive backs.
I'm confusing O line with offense.
Right. But yeah, so they're not on the lines, but also you're building an all-star team. And what was that? Wasn't it Herb Brooks, the coach of that 1980 team, hockey team, who said like
I'm not looking for the best players. I'm looking for the right players.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. I hope that's a direct quote because that would sound awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, whether it's a direct quote or not, it was obviously his philosophy.
Yeah.
So
that's and that's why I'm not concerned. Now Ohio State, they could still be really good. I mean, they're always really good. So who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, and again, I mean, accounting for bias, I get that. I feel like that's what Harbaugh has done at Michigan. Is he wasn't looking for the best players, he was looking for the right players.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done. And I mean, we'll see. Obviously, Ryan Day is a fantastic coach. But we'll see if the money they're spending is bringing in the right players or the best players. And we'll find out what the difference is if Ohio State loses to Michigan for a fourth year in a row.
Yeah. Which I think if they lose for a fourth year in a row, is Ryan Day out?
I mean, that's the big question. I think the bigger question isn't so much. I mean, I would hope the bigger question is not that he would lose to Michigan, but that he would lose out on the Big Ten championship and a CFP spot.
But they won't.
Right, and if they don't, then I think it's not mattering as much if they lose to Michigan. So because this year I feel like all of the rivalries are about to be reset because everything has changed. It's going to change so much that I feel like all of the rivalries are being reset, and we're actually back into year one now.
They're about to be really watered down.
Right.
Because
it's going to be a lot like NFL rivalries. I mean, we always talk about the Detroit-Green Bay rivalry, and I'm like, what is it?
It doesn't, I mean,
why does it even matter? They're just two professional teams that play each other every year. I don't understand why that's a rivalry.
That's also probably because we're not used to success. And so,
that could be,
Because what I'm thinking, because there are a lot of, obviously, Detroit fans that take that rivalry very seriously.
Right.
But, like, I started closely following Lions football back in when Jim Schwartz was still was still the coach.
Yeah.
And they made it to the playoffs, lost obviously, but they made it. So I started following back then. So I kind of get it now where it's like, okay, Green Bay, really don't like them, but it doesn't have as much significance as like the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry did, where the winner of that one game goes to the next one.
Right.
Okay, or the history and stuff like that too.
Right.
But now with the Big Ten going divisionless and the playoffs expanding to 12 teams, 12 teams, Ohio State and Michigan can play at the end of the regular season. Whichever one loses, they might not necessarily play again in the Big Ten championship game with Oregon coming in because they're really good, but they could meet again in the playoffs.
Right.
At the very least, losing that one game will not eliminate either of those teams from the playoffs.
Right.
Especially if they're both consistently one loss or undefeated going into it.
Yeah.
They'll most likely always, both of them, make the playoffs.
I mean, what's the most anybody's dropped in position? I mean, I feel like and I suppose it depends on the loss. Mm-hmm. But we saw teams, well, even Georgia. Georgia loses to, wait a minute. Yeah, Georgia lost to Alabama this year.
In the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were number 1. They dropped to number 6.
Yeah.
So they would have still been
five?
Yeah.
5.
So they dropped 5 or 6 spots. So they still would have been in the playoffs. And they could have theoretically this year, if that happens again this year, you could drop those 5 spots and still win the national championship.
Yeah. Right. Maybe there's the argument for not expanding the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
that might actually be an argument for expanding the playoffs because they play so few games. Every game is significant, but it also potentially eliminates the most worthy team.
But if they're the most worthy team, why didn't they win?
Well, yeah, and I guess there's an argument both ways. If there's fewer games, then you have to be on your game every single time.
And that's the point.
If there's more games, you don't have to be on your game every single time.
That's why every game means so much.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when you see the only reason anybody was commenting on J.J. McCarthy's performance in the Bowling Green game where he threw the 3 interceptions was because if they struggle in that game, I mean, they've still got Ohio State and Penn State left. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But if with expanded playoffs, if they struggle in the Bowling Green game, maybe that means they will lose to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because they'll still go to the playoffs.
Right.
Whereas this year, if they struggle against Bowling Green and then lose against Ohio State, they're done.
Right.
No Big Ten, no CFP,
right.
no Natty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I go back and forth because I just like football. I like just watching games. So if they extend the playoffs, maybe that introduces its own level of tension because then you've got teams that seemingly didn't deserve it that are suddenly now in the mix for something like this.
Yeah.
But also they didn't deserve it because they lost prior.
Yeah.
So for a reason.
It's interesting because I think you could easily make the case that like the top 10 teams are essentially equal. I'm not sure there's that much daylight between number 1 and number 10.
This season, I think there was.
Maybe somewhat, yeah. I mean, and when you have a team that goes 15-0, then it seems pretty clear cut. They're the best team, except that, then there's factoring in, well, they only played a certain number of ranked teams where other teams played more ranked teams. And I don't know. It's fascinating because there's so many teams in college football, so many teams in the FBS, and they're only ranking 25 out of 133. Mm-hmm. So at some point, I mean, it's entirely possible that team that, because if it depends on strength of schedule, you could potentially go undefeated, but if you only ever played bad teams, what does it mean to be undefeated? If you're undefeated and played all good teams, then obviously you should be up in there, up in the top. But
wasn't that was James Madison's issue? Because they went undefeated, didn't they? Or I think they lost like their last game, but even up till then, I don't think that they were ranked, or if they were like 24 or 25.
Right.
But they had
they did.
Nobody.
Yeah, they popped under the rankings for a minute there. Yeah.
So, but you use the argument they only played who was on their schedule. Put them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and so maybe then expanding the playoff gives you an opportunity to spread out some of that discussion. So Georgia loses to Alabama and misses out on the playoffs, but they're still obviously one of the best teams in college football.
Yeah.
So this, I guess it gives them more of an opportunity to actually sort of level it out and find the true champion, because it gives them more opportunity. which I realize I already said that, and your argument is true too. Then it's kind of how you look at the game. Is the game about finding the absolute best team, or is it about being on your game every time?
Is it the most deserving, or is it the best?
Well, I almost feel like there's another category there. Is it the most, you've got like the most deserving, the best, or the team that actually endured? So this year,
that's deserving though.
Well, it's deserving, yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean they're the best team.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's a funny argument. We might have to go into that another.
Yeah, we should. It's a great debate to have.
Yeah,
and we should definitely do a stream about that sometime. But
yeah.
like, I guess the way I see it is, the BCS, the BCS system was about finding the 2 best teams, and then the CFP was about. I feel like they said at first it was about finding the 2 best teams, but letting them decide who they were amongst themselves. Mm-hmm. But then they had only started with 4. So who are the 4 best teams?
Right.
Well, the 4 best teams end up inevitably becoming what you would think would be the 4 most deserving teams.
Yep.
But then every year it seemed like it switched between the 4 best or the 4 most deserving. So then because like Michigan in 2021, I think it was, when they got blown out by Georgia, a lot of people were saying, well, Michigan didn't even deserve to be there. Well, yeah, they did, but they were clearly not one of the best teams.
According to the rules, according to the system, they deserved to be there. They earned the spot.
Right, yeah. So that's an argument for expanding the playoff and at least giving them a chance. The argument for keeping the playoff to 4 teams, though, is Michigan beat everyone in their schedule and earned that 4th spot.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I mean, they earned that 4th spot. It just so happens that Georgia happened to be that much better.
Right.
Which, and people were saying this year, like if the BCS system were still in place, Michigan and Washington would have been in anyway.
Okay.
So, I mean, they basically replicated the BCS, but it wasn't like that every year. Every year, it seemed like the CFP just went back and forth. Is it the 4 best, the 4 most deserving? We don't know. Nobody knows.
It's going to be a complicated system no matter what, simply because you're talking about 130 some odd teams. Yeah. And how do you get to that? It's easier with the NFL because they play everybody in their division and everybody in their conference. And then you literally do get the top 2 teams from both conferences.
That's why I like the idea of, I don't know, are you done?
No, the only other thing I was going to say is that no matter how you do it, if there's 4 teams or 12 teams, if there's 4 teams, teams 5 and 6 are going to be arguing that they should have been in the top 4. Yeah. If there's 12, teams 13 and 14 are going to be like, but we should have been in there too. Yeah. It's going to happen no matter what. There's no complete solution because there's 132 teams.
Well, and that's exactly what we saw this year. Florida State arguing that they should be in the 4-team playoff. Right. Even though without their quarterback, they legitimately weren't the same team. Right. I was still on Florida State's side because they had beaten everybody that they needed to. Yeah. They were an undefeated conference champ. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
We will see.
We will see.
Soon enough.
I think we're coming out of halftime. How do we feel? We want to keep going or?
That's up to you. We got how many? Who's watching?
We got 6 people watching.
Oh, 6 people.
Yeah. If you guys want us to keep going, comment, why am I watching this? In the chat.
And the kickoff for the second half. Right over the Dollar General sign. Because this is a high quality game.
Yeah, it is. Dollar General is where they got their quarterback play.
I still remember that when we were driving by the Dollar General and you saw the clearance sign. And you're like, I don't know how to feel about that. What at Dollar General? What did they put on clearance?
I thought that was the point of the store. Well, I can't remember where we were driving through on our way to Mount Pleasant for that get together we were all doing. Mm-hmm. We were driving through the middle of nowhere as I think Sam Hartman is still in at quarterback for the national team here. And they're going to get maybe a 1-yard loss on this run here. But we were driving through some backwater town, and the only things there were a gas station, a liquor store, and a Dollar General. Yeah. Like, well, that sounds about right.
That makes sense.
Small town Michigan.
We got Notre Dame, North Carolina, the Jayhawks, Illinois, Rice.
I just realized you can't see anything.
All coming together. I can't see anything. What?
No, the lighting is from the window is really bad. So hopefully people are only listening to this. Of course, we're down to 3, so whatever. Oh, Sam Hartman's going to pass. Oh, nice move. Dumps it off to A.J. Barner for the... Oh, he's about a half yard short of the first down there.
Notre Dame to Michigan.
That's a connection, I guess. That's a nice Argyle sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that. All right, this is the last time I'm going to say this because I don't want to be a full-on grifter. But for the 4 people who are watching, the first person to send us a super chat, because we just recently got monetized for the super chats.
For the super chats, yeah, that's it.
But first person to send us a super chat, keep it G-rated, but we will print it out and frame it and put it on our streams. You will be famous. And it may only cost you $1 or $2 or how much the cheapest super chat is. But in any case, you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to. Times are tough. The economy's in the toilet. You know, you got to save your money. I get it. All right, we got is that a Kansas State running back who just got crushed by everybody? Got about a yard on that play. Sam Hartman's still in at quarterback. See, I don't get it. How are they rotating these players in?
I don't know. Maybe the other QBs are injured. Where's my list?
Maybe. Sam Hartman's rolling out to his left. He's going to take off and run.
Ooh.
And he's really close to the first down. Not sure if he got it. Stepped out, I think he half yard short maybe.
Has Carter Bradley played yet?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure
I
he's
don't even
there.
know who that is.
It's from South Alabama.
Oh, well.
Who are all the QBs? I should have listed this in QB order too.
You know what? I wonder if the scouts are telling them, put Sam Hartman back in. We want to see if he's got any,
Yeah.
you know. Can he do better, please?
Joe Milton already played, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he might still be in too, honestly.
All right. Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Michael Penix Jr. Has he been out there yet?
Not yet.
Wow.
No.
He was doing quite a bit in the practice games.
Was he?
Practice sessions.
All right, so they need a yard for the first down. They're going to hand it off to get it. No, they're not. Sam Hartman's going to keep it.
Run it again.
On the RPO there, or I don't know if that's an RPO. I don't think that's an RPO. But he kept it, and he ran it, and he got it. So he got about 5 yards there. Have you been watching any of the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge stuff?
I watched a little bit today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I saw they were showing C.J. Stroud throwing whatever that game is that they do. They had like moving targets, and then they had like receivers or they had pylons simulating receivers and stuff like that.
Yep.
And a couple of Michigan fans on Twitter were saying, or because Ohio State posted the video and said dots, you know, because he was throwing dots.
Oh,
he was throwing really well and all that. And a couple of Michigan fans.
Oh, they got his leg.
Oh, Hartman spiked the ball before he got sacked.
What, is that legal?
I don't know. Is it?
That's intentional grounding, isn't it?
Isn't it? I don't know what these rules are anymore. So, yeah, he spikes it maybe because he threw it back towards the center.
Maybe they're allowed to do that so they can just call the play and doesn't get injured.
Yeah, that might be.
No point in getting injured here.
Well, anyway, so C.J. Stroud's throwing to all these targets, and he only hit 50% of his throws.
Okay.
But like a couple of Michigan fans were on there saying, "Oh, he only hit 50% of his throws. He's not that good of a quarterback." And first off, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, look at that one-handed catch!
Nice.
One-handed catch by
That's the guy from Rice.
Yeah, the Rice
McCaffrey.
tight end, Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he a tight end or is he a? No, he's a slot receiver. All right, somebody draft Luke McCaffrey, please. That was incredible. First down plus 4 yards. Okay throw from Sam Hartman, but.
He's a wide receiver is what they have him on here.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, I was like, first off, C.J. Stroud is a great quarterback, so shut up for that. Secondly, I'm watching this video with the moving targets and all that, and I'm like, if you stepped out on that field and tried to do that, you wouldn't hit anything. So shut up.
Probably wouldn't even hold the ball right.
Probably not.
Oh!
Oh!
I like face masking.
A little bit.
Come on.
Sam Hartman with a bad throw. Just needed to dump it off, but he had Barner open, and Barner could catch it. So I'm not sure what he was doing there, but whatever.
Do they still have to paint the Notre Dame helmets, or are they? Because they used to have to repaint them to make them all nice and gold and shiny.
I don't know.
They probably don't have to anymore. It's probably new composites now.
I didn't know that they did that in the first place. But
Oh, yeah.
okay. Huh.
Well, it was in the Rudy movie anyway.
From 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they still do that.
Actually, I think the movie's older than that. I think it came out in the 80s.
Is it really? Yeah. Oh, jeez. Or did it?
I gotta look. It is an older movie. Samwise Gamgee was in it, though.
Yeah, he was. We got a face mask on the American team. I don't think it was a face mask as much as he got the backside of the guy's helmet. Oh no, he got his face mask. Oh yeah, he ripped his helmet all the way around. Hey, you can kill somebody doing that.
1993 it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
So it is almost. Oh, it is 30 years old.
Is it?
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, I guess it's 24 now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wait, that means you're...
Stop.
No.
Quit while you're right where you started.
Ooh, they're on the, was that
Yeah, with
17?
With the penalty.
Oh, they grabbed his leg again. Man, they like his
They
leg.
like his legs. Sam Hartman gets sacked for a 2-yard loss. He was trying to run it to the left, but didn't get there. And chewing out his lineman for it with a friendly smirk and a gesture.
What's the matter with you, huh?
What are you doing? Block the guy. I'm trying to get a job here. Yeah. American team's making a substitution. I wonder if the other players from better teams are looking at the players from not so good teams and just kind of thinking, should I listen to what you say? Like, Sam Hartman's calling a play here, and
Oh, man.
and he's about to get sacked again.
Sacked. Man, his O-line's
he
just not
fumbled
helping
it.
him.
All right, I don't know if that's going
I
to
don't-
count as a fumble,
Yeah.
but
Some weird decisions he's got
Yeah.
going on here.
it looked like he was trying to throw it right before going down, but the ball came out weird. So maybe,
I don't know why he didn't just tuck and hold.
yeah, did they review plays in this
Hold
game?
and tuck.
Oh, he had a wide open Luke McCaffrey too, and a wide open Des Walker. What was he doing? Well, he just didn't have time, I guess.
No. His O-line wasn't helping him at all.
No, I don't know if they're gonna call that a forward pass, or they might just honestly call it a forward pass anyway. Because do they review plays in the Senior Bowl? There hasn't been a review so far.
3rd and 12. Yeah, this game's moving right along.
Is it?
Seems like it.
How much time is left? It's almost 3:00.
Oh, all right. Maybe it's not moving right along. I guess they are still showing commercials.
Deep shot to the end zone,
Oh!
and that's pass
What?
interference.
Yeah.
If I ever saw it.
On both of them.
Where's the flag? There is no flag on the ground.
No. I don't think they're throwing flags. Have you seen any flags?
I've
yet?
seen 2 flags.
2 flags?
Yeah,
All
there
right.
have been 2 so far. That was pass interference on both of them.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't even know what they were doing with that play.
Yeah.
I don't know why Sam Hartman was throwing that anyway. He wasn't open.
Kicker from Stanford's warming up.
The punter from Iowa was just giving him pointers. Kicked enough balls to know.
We kicked a,
See
we
the
kick a lot.
uprights. Goes in the middle. 37-yard field goal attempt.
They're all the comments from the same guy.
Yeah. John, come back. We were having fun with you, man. He said he was going to leave it on so that we've still got his viewer
nice.
Information on there.
All right.
And
Appreciate
Stanford
it.
guy kicks it, and he's got it.
He's
Look at
got
that.
it. Nice
Redemption. Well done to that guy.
Mhm. All right, so I've got a question on. There's an article out about Michigan football coaching staff should be in place by next week or so. Angelique Shengelis. I have learned how to pronounce her name.
Oh, excellent.
Shengelis. This came out just a couple days ago. Is today the 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this came out on the 1st.
Okay.
Saying that it should be in place in the next week or so. And Jesse Minter was he the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator?
Defensive. What?
Defensive coordinator.
What?
All right.
You call
I'm trying to remember it because Sharon Moore was the offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it says okay. So my question is, it says he hasn't replaced the defensive coordinator yet. We're pretty sure that Jesse Minter is going to the Chargers with Harbaugh,
He already did.
but he's still on the Michigan page for listed as coaches.
Oh.
He's one of the coaches still listed there
Well, he's
because the Chargers haven't announced it yet.
Oh, really?
And Sharon Moore, Harbaugh is taken off the list. He's not on the Michigan page anymore. Sharon Moore is now listed. But Jesse Minter is also listed.
I swear he signed a contract with LA.
Okay, maybe he did. I was trying to find something today. I looked at his Twitter account. I didn't see any update there.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest thing I could find is that they're expected to announce this week. But
Okay.
expected to me always sounds like they don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not, that means he hasn't signed anything.
I thought Michigan already pulled in another DC.
Did they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious then as to how long it takes them to update the website, because I would think that something like that would get updated pretty fast.
Well, yeah, well, I would think so, maybe. But I swear I saw on Twitter that he had signed with the Chargers. Minter had signed with the Chargers already, and somebody else. I thought Michigan already had a new DC.
All right. Well, this was 2 days ago, so maybe it's changed.
All right.
But I don't know. That was my question. I was wondering if you had seen anything and what you knew about it.
Well, this is also saying that Jesse Minter's still at Michigan. Michigan
maybe-
football recruiting under Sharon Moore, defensive coordinator search 2024 update. Let's see here. In today's NIL age, no one cares. The team at Michigan Insider already has several recruiting updates from Moore's first week on the job, along with a list of candidates for the defensive coordinator opening.
All right.
Coaching updates here. Let's see. I guess Sharon Moore, has been on the road recruiting like for the last 2 weeks.
Oh,
And
good.
is going after some pretty high-profile recruits too.
Yeah.
I know the former quarterbacks coach. I can't remember his name. He was just promoted to OC, and
Okay.
then Grant Newsome is now the O-line coach.
Right.
There are also some details about potential defensive coordinator candidates emerging from the Michigan Insider. Jesse Minter bolted for the NFL when Harbaugh offered him the DC position with LA, leaving Moore with his first major decision as head coach. But he
All right.
also, OC, he also had to fill that one.
Right.
As American teams got the ball and they just ran for about a 15-yard play. That's the TCU running back. I don't know his name. But anyway,
So he's gone. I mean, there's not.
Yeah,
we're
Minter's
not.
gone.
There's really no reason to question it.
yeah, Minter's
He's gone. Okay.
Defensive line coach Mike Elston and defensive backs coach Steve Klinkscale are both option if Moore decides to promote from within.
All right.
And I thought Mike Elston actually already got it.
Oh.
I thought.
Okay.
Maybe that was just a rumor.
Maybe they just have to officially announce things before they change the website then.
Yeah.
Because I actually got a little excited at that. Oh, maybe he's talking Jesse into staying.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
But no, I guess he's
Jesse
gone.
Minter's
He's
gone.
gone. All right.
All right. TCU running back gets the ball again. He's going to go about 4 yards. Oof, brutal tackle there.
Brutal.
About 5 people taking him on. Here you go, South Alabama Bradley. That was the guy you were talking about,
Yep.
wasn't it? Yeah. We got South Alabama quarterback Carter Bradley in at quarterback now. He came into the game with a 68% completion percentage with 2,600 yards. You see me leaning off here. 19
touchdowns.
19-7 touchdown to interception ratio.
Next time we should put the TV up higher.
Yeah, up here. We're taking notes while doing this. So next time, what we should do is get into cash infusion of about $1 million.
Yep.
And then see if you people would do super chats. We could buy a better studio.
This is just a practical tip. If you're going to do your own YouTube channel, you can do all this stuff in the test environment, and you can do your green screen, which we had a green screen, but I had to take it down. I got it working. It was cool, but I didn't have it set up in the production environment. So test environments and production environments are very different. I should have known that as a programmer, but I went with my excitement because I had like 3 cameras set up. I had the green screen set up, and then I got it into our set. And now we're down to 1 camera and the flag that falls off the wall if I don't hook it up right.
As the American team gets a first down. You fixed it okay. It stayed up.
Yeah,
Oh,
the-
you got the clips on
The
it
clips
now.
are working.
Yeah, the
It's
clips.
just now we've got all of this space.
CFM. Next time we're recording at my place.
All right. That's fair.
I've got carpeting, so the acoustics are better. All right, where are
we?
we now? They're
Yeah.
at the 50. How much time is left?
3 minutes left in the third.
3 minutes left in the third. Do you want to finish the third and call it, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
let's do
You
that.
gonna do that?
Let's
All
see how
right.
we got. And we got, okay, National has 10, American has 7. American has the ball. They're on the 50. It's a handoff. Number
gonna get
9
a
gets
yard. He's
nowhere.
going to get a yard. From tackled by a defensive player from North Carolina.
Gray.
I feel like North Carolina had a good defense this year.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't go anywhere. They lost some game that they were supposed to win. I feel like that was probably what happened.
Cedric Gray.
Cedric Gray. Boom.
And that was Amani Bailey from TCU.
TCU. All right. Boy, TCU really fell off this year. Going from a national title appearance to barely making a bowl game, I think.
Yeah.
Did they make a bowl game? I don't even know if they made a bowl game.
I don't remember.
Bradley's looking, dumps it off short. Terrible throw. Incomplete pass to, I believe, Cody Schrader from Missouri is still playing. I believe that was him who wasn't able to catch it, but it was a bad throw. Did they just call
No,
it?
they didn't.
What's going on?
Their final game was November 24th against Oklahoma, and they lost 45-69.
Wow. Jeez. That is so many points.
Yeah.
So they didn't make a bowl game.
No.
Man. Has any team gone from a national title game appearance to not making a bowl game before?
Oh, I'm sure they have. Yeah.
I don't know. To
I mean,
not making a
you've
bowl
got-
game? Like,
You've got a lot of coaches that leave the team after that kind of a success.
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking, you mean like in just the CFP era? That I don't know. I'd have to look that up to make sure.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
But I
think it
know
would
in
be
the
that.
past, I mean, Michigan State comes to mind, where in the 60s they had a fantastic coach and a fantastic run, and they were almost unstoppable. I don't remember if they got the national championship that year, but they had a phenomenal year, phenomenal decade, and then the coach left for the NFL, and then they died. And that was the MSU team I remember from the 70s and 80s and 90s that just couldn't do a thing. That's what he left. He left a program in disarray for a good 30 years.
Which is why the Mark D'Antonio era
Yeah.
was so frustrating for Michigan fans, because we
Yeah.
were like, wait, what? That's why for a certain amount of time I actually didn't like Michigan State more than I didn't like Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I was kind of used to losing to Ohio State. But I'm not used to it anymore. I don't
No.
know what's going to happen.
I know.
If Ohio State wins this year, what do I feel?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it was about time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted.
I mean, I think Bo Schembechler lost to Michigan State
Wasn't it twice?
4 times,
Four
maybe,
times? Oh, okay.
in 20 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in commercial, by the way. That's why we're
Yeah.
that's
They
why we're
went-
rambling.
They went to commercial and
We also ran out of topics to talk about. Except, well, I guess we could go back to the 13. Oh, this one. Okay, so we can briefly touch on this NIL thing, or
All right.
the $13 million.
well, they're back now.
What I found is interesting is that as I was looking up Ohio State and the $13 million spent,
Yeah.
I found an article from a year ago, year and a half ago.
All right.
Ohio State's $13 million set the number on NIL discussions, questions and answers on what it means. So this was a plan that they've had to spend that $13 million. It wasn't like something that just happened.
Oh.
This was their plan
since a year ago.
since a year ago, year and a half ago.
Huh. Okay.
Last Thursday, Ohio State football coach Ryan Day laid it out. He estimated that Ohio State would need $13 million in money for players to earn through name, image, and likeness opportunities to keep the Buckeyes football roster together after this season. So he got it, and he did it. Day gave the specifics to about 100 business people gathered inside the Covelli Center, invited by Ohio State as the Buckeyes look for business partners to navigate NIL.
I mean,
so that was the plan.
he kind of did it. I mean, first off, their quarterback bolted.
Yeah.
I guess one of their running backs, I think, transferred too. And then Julian Fleming transferred. Marvin Harrison has eligibility and could have come back, but he declared for the NFL, which I think was the right thing to do. Well, I don't know. But
and then we have the most Franklin Day quote ever.
Franklin Day?
James Franklin. The most James Franklin quote. James Franklin said, or no, it's not a direct quote, it's a paraphrase, but that $13 million is the number. It's the public baseline for now. Franklin was as transparent as day, said he wanted to be by putting the number out there. Franklin was as transparent as Day said he wanted to be by putting that number out there. Franklin's main point, if that's the number for Ohio State, why would it be any different for Penn State? That's James Franklin establishing his position by doing what everybody else does.
Yeah. Where's the wind blowing? I say we go that way.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this goes through, it says, where will the money come from? Day was thinking of an all-in number that would be money provided under NIL rules. The plan is for Ohio State to introduce the business to a player of interest, and then that business directly pays a player for endorsing the company, while may also providing an internship. Does Ohio State pay any of this? No.
Well, hang on.
Could there be an indirect way for schools to push money through? On Ohio State's website, there is a one-step process to donate to the athletic department. You can even pick, okay, you can do that in Michigan now too.
Yeah.
That's what, I don't know, that
feels icky.
I don't get that. And a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of Michigan fans are like, I donated, I'm helping my players. And I'm like, but wasn't this whole thing about them getting endorsements and that from companies and getting some of the TV money? Why do they now need my money?
Right. Yeah, the point was to spread the TV money around a little bit. Or at least provide them health care.
But anyway, I mean, yeah, what we're seeing this year, that everybody kind of freaking out about that 13 million number, that's been the plan for a while now, for a year and a half now. So,
well, I mean, people were freaking out when he said it, and then now they're freaking out that they actually did it.
Yeah. And now it comes back to what we were talking about earlier, is he getting the best players or the right players?
Yeah.
And
who knows?
And that remains to be seen. We won't know until September or late August.
Well, and I also want to say the NCAA, I guess, is investigating one of their coaches for tampering.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Well, I know what it means, actually. So tampering is when you talk to a player who hasn't entered the portal yet, that's on another team. So you're not supposed to talk to them.
So that's poaching.
Yeah, I guess.
Tampering is poaching. Yeah.
But the thing is it's so it's so ill-defined because that means that you can't say. I think what it means is that you literally can't say anything to them.
Right.
You know, because at one point, what was it? Somebody brought up, I think I was listening to Cover 3, and one of those guys brought up the idea that, you know, these kids during the recruiting process, they develop relationships with the coaches. Mm-hmm. And so even if they don't go to that school, they might still have a relationship with that coach. And so it could very well be that a player texts another coach that he has a relationship with and says, oh, you know, I'm going through it, you know, or something like that. And that coach just tries to talk to him as a human being. Yeah. You know, offer some counsel or something like that. Yeah. That could be considered tampering because the rule is not defined at all. Yeah. So that could literally be what's going on at Ohio State. Maybe this guy, the coach, just had a relationship with the player, and then the player decided, you know what? I have a good relationship with this coach. I'm going to go to Ohio State. Yeah. But because the guy woke up one morning and said, hey, hope you're having a good day. That's tampering, guys.
Did he buy him a cheeseburger? That's the
I don't know. That's where it would cross the line.
Yeah, that's obvious.
That's where it would cross the line.
All right.
Yeah.
Nationals are all in a huddle. We got 1:44 left in the third. Gators, Utah, Minnesota, Yale.
Yale?
Who's got the rabbit?
The Jackrabbits. Oh, South Dakota State, right?
Oh.
I think. Jackrabbits? I think.
Good.
Sam Hartman is still in.
Still in.
He's going to dump it off to the Jackrabbit.
Decent pass.
I think. right? I can't tell. I can't see anything.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you see his name by any chance?
No. All right, so they've got. I don't know who any of these players are
Davis.
on the roll on the bottom here, but they're saying they've got projections for mock drafts here. Malik Neighbors to the Colts, Byron Murphy to the Seahawks.
Oh, Isaiah Diss. Yeah, you're right. South Dakota State.
Yeah, okay, sweet.
All right.
Quarterback Bo Nix to LA? Oh, this is a different guy's mock draft. Okay. Sam Hartman fumbles the snap. Oh, but he gets it back. Okay, all right.
All right.
What is this game?
Sam Hartman, for all of his beautiful hair,
Jeez.
not the best quarterback today.
No. I want to go back and watch other Senior Bowls and see if they are all this bad.
I mean, to some extent, this has always been the problem with Senior Bowls and Pro Bowls, is that you get all these guys together. They can't really coalesce as a team because they get a week to play together, maybe
Right.
2 weeks.
Right.
So how do you get these guys from all of these different schemes and programs to all of a sudden mesh?
Yeah.
It can't be done. Give them, 3 months of practice, then yeah, something.
Right.
But 2 weeks or a week, no.
National team's going to pick up about a 20-yard run here. I think that's the Jackrabbit running back. The running Jackrabbits.
The running checker.
Hopping their way for 20-yard gain or so across the Dollar General logo. Maybe 25-yard gain, actually. I guess I don't know. I get the Pro Bowl to an extent because I don't think anybody's watching that thinking, oh, this is going to be some good football. You're watching that because it's like, oh, what would happen if we put all the best players from this year's NFL teams on the same teams and just let them play a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
Right.
It'd be kind of fun. Plus, they've got all the games and stuff like that they play, and that's kind of neat. I don't know that I'd ever watch the Pro Bowl, but for people who are diehard fans, I get it.
We got 26 seconds left in the third. Still 10-7. Nationals.
6 people watching. Hi, 6 people. Sam Hartman's looking downfield, and he almost throws an interception.
Wow.
Every Notre Dame fan is watching this like, I'm so glad he graduated.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
But
Which
whoever's
sucks, 'cause-
coaching the Nationals there really wants him to get a spot.
Yeah. But that sucks because he's actually a good quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not having a good game. He was looking for A.J. Barner too. The thing is he threw that behind. That would have ended up about 5 yards behind Barner and actually would have been picked if that first guy hadn't have tipped it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now he's throwing it again. He's looking downfield
It's up.
again.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Where
To nobody.
he threw that like 5 yards out of bounds.
Yeah. He had a guy open, too.
Yeah. There's a flag on the play. Why? I don't know. Maybe it was for making us watch that pass. Who's he throwing that ball to?
He just, I don't know if that got away from him or if he just gave up.
I don't know. That was bizarre.
Yeah. Are they calling it intentional grounding?
Well, it was beyond. Well, he wasn't outside the tackle box.
They're not showing the refs at all.
No, they're not.
I just realized.
Yeah.
We have to kind of guess at what the flag was. Well, the announcers might be saying it. We don't have the volume up. So, again, YouTube. Otherwise, we'd have the game in the corner there. And
Yeah.
right over there, probably. There.
All right.
Yeah, over there.
Oh, Sam Hartman hits a wide open receiver. Is that Luke McCaffrey again? No, that's the other guy. No, that is Luke McCaffrey. All right, so Luke McCaffrey and joins Cody Schrader and Bo Nix as the only players to have had a competent Senior Bowl. Although Jalen Harrell did have that fumble recovery, so he's doing all right. I guess I'm not really paying attention to any of the players on defense. That just goes to show you it's an offensive game now today, kids. You're not going anywhere in life unless you play wide receiver or running back or quarterback.
Slow motion. Boom, boom, boom.
I think the Chargers, it just said the Chargers hired their interim head coach as a member of Harbaugh's staff.
Nice.
That's interesting, yeah. Yep, Luke McCaffrey is part of that McCaffrey tree. Maybe they're Catholic. The McCaffrey tree. So you got Christian McCaffrey's playing for the 49ers, and Dylan McCaffrey played a season for Michigan, then transferred somewhere, and I have no idea where he is now.
52-yard field goal attempt coming up.
So that Stanford kicker that missed a 30-yard field goal, they're letting him try a 52-yarder. You know,
if he gets it, they go up 6 points.
Yeah. Something tells me the national team is going to win because neither offense can really go anywhere. Except for Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader's going places. And Luke McCaffrey.
It's like that line in Spaceballs. Evil always wins because good is dumb. The Nationals win because the Americans are dumb.
Kick is up.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, he's got it.
It's good.
Enough? Yeah. So he misses a 30-yarder but nails a 52. That's redemption right there, kids.
13-7.
Look at that.
And that is the end of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter?
Yep.
All right.
We're going to call it there?
We should probably call it. I'm getting tired. This game is boring.
All right, we're going to call it there, folks. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We are at 560 subs.
Yeah, 560.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you for everybody who's subscribed, everybody who's watching. I think that's all I got to say. You got anything you want to add?
No, I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I
all
got
right.
Nothing. Thank you.
We are out of here. Mac, take us out.
This is Senior Bowl Chatter on Big Ten Team Rivalry. Thanks, everybody.
Hold on a second.
Hold tight as we stop the stream.